So today we're going to be watching a video about an Instagram model from Dontavius, and apparently she faked cancer. We're going to get into this. We're going to check it out.
The health and wellness industry is worth over $4.5 trillion. That's more than the GDP of Mexico, Canada, and Australia combined. There's a lot of money to go around, so it should come as no surprise.
Whoa, does this person have fucking whiskers? I thought I said someone with like cat whiskers.
There's a lot of money to go around, so...
Oh no, that's what is it, acupuncture? Is that what that is? Sorry guys, false alarm, false furry alarm. I saw the short hair, I saw the whiskers, I was like, what's going on here? But we're good, we're in the clear, guys. Nothing sussy about this.
It should come as no surprise that the industry is full of scumbags who prey on people's anxieties.
True.
From Gwyneth Paltrow to the Liver King, there's no shortage of grifters and degenerates peddling snake oil to unsuspecting consumers. They sell you courses.
I like that he explicitly put Sneeko here. Has anyone in the audience actually checked out the creativity kit? I don't know a ton about it. I suspect it's probably pretty just like nothing advice, because in my experience, anything that you can try to learn from like any of these courses like Sneeko has, like the creativity kit, any of these courses, they're not going to be that useful. In the end, it's mostly going to be stuff that you can just learn online. And when I say online, I mean for free on YouTube, right? From YouTube tutorials. It's not something you need to pay for an exclusive membership for, because I don't think there's any knowledge that Sneeko has that's so exclusive that like you can't get it anywhere else, especially in terms of like video content creation making, you know?
It's time to stop scrolling and start monetizing. Check your screen time. Your average is probably like 6 hours. If you're spending 6 hours a day scrolling without making any type of money, without any investment towards your future, you're behind. I want to teach you everything I know about how to...
See, this is my problem, and this video is a perfect analogy for the Sneeko issue, and the issue with a lot of these like lifestyle coach guys, right? Like Sneeko and Andrew Tate. Like the first half of their message is like, okay, you need to stop wasting your time, you need to stop scrolling on your phone, you need to stop doing all these weird degenerate things that don't add to your life, stop wasting your life away. And I'm like, okay, that's cool. And then their solution is like, well, give me money to learn a skill that you can learn anywhere for free.
How to make money online, from the back end, from the editing side, from Photoshop, how to freelance, but also how to tap into your creative side. All you want to be YouTubers at some point.
Do you really need to ask Sneeko how to use Photoshop, how to use Premiere Pro? Really? Do you need to ask him? Is he the only person who knows how to use Premiere Pro and Photoshop? Is Sneeko the only person that can tap into your creative side? And so the reason I sidetrack from this is to, you know, add on to Dontavius' point that there are a lot of like charlatans out there. You know, a lot of people right now are struggling spiritually with the direction in their life. I don't think the answer to it is paying for these strange like paywalled subscription services. That's just a bunch of YouTube videos telling you you can learn literally anywhere else.
That don't teach you anything, supplements that don't fix anything, and NFTs that aren't worth anything. There's very little that these people won't do for a quick buck. But never in a million years did I think somebody would fake cancer for money and fame. Well, that is until recently.
Belle Gibson is someone who became famous in Australia because she claimed to have beaten terminal brain cancer using natural remedies and nutrition.
It's all a lie, a great big lie. She doesn't have cancer, never did.
Belle was working at a call center when she began experiencing memory loss, dizziness, difficulty walking, and vision problems.
I'm legally blind.
But when she told her doctor about her symptoms, he kind of blew her off. He figured she was just another broad being dramatic, so he prescribed her some Prozac and sent her home. But it turns out she wasn't being dramatic at all. Just a week after visiting the doctor, Belle passed out on the toilet at work and woke up in the ICU. And that's when she got the worst news of her.
Have any of you guys ever passed out on the toilet? Is that like a really embarrassing, humiliating experience? Isn't that how like Elvis died? I'd be a little embarrassed if I passed out on the toilet. I'm praying it doesn't happen, but I feel like maybe it's just something that does happen by the end of your life. Mr. Emu in chat says, yes, you have passed out on the toilet? I'm sorry, dude. Elvis the alien? No, Elvis the f***ing the guy who died, the famous musician.
For life. She was told that she just had a stroke. And even worse, she had inoperable brain cancer. And even worse, she only had 4 months to live. But hey, at least she still had that Prozac. Belle tried chemotherapy and radiation, but it wasn't working. In fact, it made the cancer even worse. 2 months into her treatment, Belle lost consciousness again, this time in the middle of a park. Very embarrassing. At this point, she decided she was done listening to health professionals, and she was gonna treat herself the old-fashioned way. So she started researching alternative medicines, but the clock was ticking. At this point, she only had like 2 months left to live. But after a few sleepless nights, she came across something called Gerson therapy. Now, I had actually never heard of this, but the guy who invented it claims that it can cure cancer.
What is this Gerson therapy? Gerson Institute, okay. The Gerson Institute, founded in 1978, the Gerson Institute was created to spread awareness of the Gerson therapy. For over 40 years, we have been leading the global source of information, licensing, training, and patient support for treating the underlying causes of disease, toxicity, and nutritional deficiency. Is there any truth to this. I mean, maybe there is. I'd imagine people's diets being really bad and like eating their goy slop, you know, McDonald's and Burger King like I do. That's probably contributing to cancer. So maybe Gerson therapy is what we all need, guys. Why? I hate that the descriptions are always so vague. Gerson therapy Reddit. We're gonna get a Redditor to explain this to us. Get really specific with it. Has anyone had any experience with Gerson therapy? My family is considering this alternative method now that my brother's cancer is back and has metastasized throughout his body. It looks bleak, and if it is to be the end, we don't want to suffer chemo. Anyway, does anyone have personal experience with it? I totally understand why people turn to unproven therapies like Gerson or Brzezinski. They offer hope of the unknown in the face of relentless prognoses, and an alternative to the scientific method, which seems to have betrayed. However, Gerson therapy simply doesn't make any logical sense. The toxins which Gerson believed to cause cancer have never been isolated or demonstrated to be carcinogenic. His prescription for resolving sodium/potassium imbalances actually throws natural electrolyte balances deeply out of whack. So I guess whatever the diet is, it's just completely overcompensating for like a perceived nutrient deficiency, and there's no data or science behind it or anything. It's just kind of what the guy was thinking at the time. In terms of the brutality of treatment, Gerson is not a lot better than most conventional surgery/radiotherapy/chemotherapy combinations. The actual regimen involves multiple daily enemas. Oh, multiple daily enemas. So you're just getting your evacuated like 5 times a day if you're doing the Gerson therapy. What the hell? The actual regimen involves multiple daily enemas, which produce unpleasant digestive side effects. Yeah, I mean, to say the least. Having your colon evacuated every 3 hours is pretty unpleasant. The frequency with which vegetable juice must be consumed means that the patient will not be able to live a normal life, but will instead be effectively shackled to the blender. Depending on the type of cancer your brother has, Gerson's injectable supplements can cause internal bleeding or serious infections. Yeah, it looks like they decided against it. It looks like the Gerson therapy method may not be the most helpful thing in the world. We'll keep watching this video from Dontavius now.
Taking a lot of vitamins, drinking at least 13 glasses of juice per day, cutting out meat, dairy, sugar, gluten, and everything else that's delicious. And finally, doing up to 5 coffee enemas per day.
The coffee enema, yo. That's crazy. That's crazy, guys.
And if you don't know what a coffee enema is, here's a clip, just to give you some context.
Fill a bucket with coffee. A hose attached to the bottom delivers the liquid to the lower intestine.
Put the nozzle into your rectum, hold it up in the air.
As they raise the bucket, 32 ounces of coffee fills their colon.
When the timer goes off, yeah, you want to make just a quick transition from floor to toilet seat as quickly as possible. It's going to come flying out of there like a torrent.
Are there any benefits to coffee enemas, genuinely? Coffee enema. What is the point of a coffee enema? 12 to 15 minutes. It boosts immunity, increases energy, apparently. I don't believe that. Dude, what f***ing freak came up with the idea to insert coffee into your butthole? Boosts immunity, increases energy, stops yeast overgrowth, treats autoimmune diseases, removes parasites from the digestive tract, removes heavy metals from the body, treats depression, treats cancer. Who should consider getting a coffee enema? There aren't any official medical, guidelines, obviously there aren't. I feel like putting this inside of me would not make me feel better. I feel like it would probably make me feel worse, if anything.
Just said she was insane to try this. And after seeing that clip, I have to agree. But she proved them wrong again and again. Not only did she live past the 4-month deadline, but her cancer was actually shrinking. Her alternative medicine approach was working against all odds. And after being told by multiple doctors she couldn't have children, 2 years after her diagnosis, Belle miraculously gave birth to a healthy baby boy. But unfortunately, she named him Brandon. Either way, as the kids say...
What's wrong with Brandon? Dude, what's wrong with Brandon? Let's go, Brandon. Guys, I like Brandon. I love Brandon.
This was a common Belle W. Belle was basically proving everything we knew about medicine wrong. So it would be selfish not to share that with the entire world. So in 2012, she created an Instagram account to document her journey of healing cancer. Her bio said it all. Game changer with brain cancer, plus a food obsession. Now, keep in mind that Instagram was still relatively new at this point, okay? It wasn't like the Instagram of today that's just full of hoes with Photoshop pictures trying to plug their OnlyFans. It was a more whole...
True. You guys ever go on Instagram and like, no matter how much you try to avoid it, it's just hoe after hoe. And I try to avoid it. I don't click on them, okay? Listen, guys, I don't click on them. I don't click on them. I would not do that. I would not click on it. You know, I just want to see cat videos. I want to see animal videos, cats, dogs, mostly cats because I don't like dogs as much. Cat videos is all I really want to see on Instagram. And I go to my Instagram reels and they just put these like e-girls in there. Like, and it's even stuff that like, okay, if I was trying to look for hoes, it was stuff I would never ever look for. It's like, look at this cute girl with a rockin' body in her freaking Spider-Man outfit, in her like Valorant cosplay outfit, Overwatch cosplay. Like, I don't want to see this stuff, dude. Instagram's trying to poison our brains, We can't allow it, guys. We can't allow it. We got to reject it. Why does it keep showing up on your timeline? I don't know. They're trying to make me, dude.
And her Instagram was basically a white woman's dream. Acai bowls, quinoa, avocado toast, and of course, plenty of selfies. It was like inspiration porn. Here's this beautiful, radiant young woman who was suffering from terminal brain cancer, and she's still living her best life.
Okay, so he called her an Instagram model. I thought it was going to be the modern Instagram model is just girls wearing bikinis all the time. But Dontavius, a little bit of clickbait here, a little bit of misleading. But you know, don't hate the player, hate the game. Just not exactly what I was expecting. More wholesome. She had a wholesome account. She was more of a lifestyle influencer than like a Karina Kopf, like just total, you know, bimbo type figure.
Meanwhile, here you are in bed at 10 a.m. after drinking a whole bottle of wine on a Wednesday night. Belle's inspirational story was really resonating with housewives all over the world. Within a few short months, she was able to rack up over 200,000 followers. She said in an interview that the reason for her massive growth was because of her authenticity. I think too many people on social media overly edit themselves. Right from the start, I was very open and treated Instagram as my personal space. I really think it was that authenticity that people were attracted to. Now, obviously this quote is incredibly ironic. Either way, Belle realized that she had a cult.
I always notice, like, with anyone who's who makes their brand about like one kind of like moral virtue or value, like authenticity or realness, they're usually bound to be one of the most fake motherfuckers online. Maybe it's just because I fixate on the ones that get exposed more than anything, right? Maybe that's it. But I just find there's a lot of people out there who, like someone like Andrew Tate, if you hear him preaching one ideal, then it's probably best to assume that he's a complete hypocrite in that regard in his own personal life. Even if what they're trying to spew is like valuable knowledge, like this girl, right? Like eating healthy is probably good. I don't know about coffee enemas being good for you, but I don't know. She looked like she has some good food on her, you know, freaking Instagram page. While that might be good, the entirety of what they preach is immediately made valueless because they're complete hypocrites in their personal life and they don't adhere to any of it. Nobody is capable of practicing what they preach. I think it's better to be truly honest. And when I say honest, I mean it's good to be like fallible and open to the idea of failure online if you're a public figure. Because if you're obsessed with the opposite, then when you do actually fail, none of your audience will forgive you because they're going to be eager to eat you up just like you would to someone else who is also truly fallible, like an average human being. I apologize for the diatribe. Just want to go a little off on that, but we'll keep watching.
In early 2013, she started developing her very own smartphone app called The Whole Pantry. According to the app's description, The Whole Pantry is the new go-to place filled with continually updating library of resources, empowering information, lifestyle guides, and simple yet beautiful nourishing recipes. Man, it sounds too good to be true. And believe it or not, this app was developed in like 7 months, which would usually not even be close to enough time to develop an app. But it was surprisingly good. In fact, it was so good that it got 200,000 downloads in its first month alone.
Damn.
And it was voted.
I feel like that's a lot, especially like a new app, and she had like a few 100,000 followers on Instagram. That means it went like big time, like popular. She was probably making bank from it.
Apple wanted Belle's Whole Pantry app to be one of the default apps that came pre-installed on the Apple Watch.
What? Well, she actually got to like the top. Like that must be like the highest you can possibly get with any app, right? Like getting your app as like a default on any Apple product, I mean, would have to be huge. I'd like to do that. Can we get the Based and Red Pilled app? Can we get some calls from Jeff Bezos, some calls from some people high up? Be like, hey Turkey Tom, listen, we know you're pretty based, we know you're pretty red pilled. We want to get your app on the front of the Amazon. I wouldn't get to the iPhone. I wouldn't get to that tier. I would get to like the Amazon Fire tablet. They'd be like, Turkey Tom, listen, we heard you made the Based app. We heard you put a lot of effort into it. We heard it's the most based and red pilled and keck pilled, and you know it has the most Wojaks going around. Okay, we're hoping we can get you on the Amazon Fire tablet.
This was huge. This was like a multi-million-dollar deal. And Apple weren't the only ones offering her deals. Penguin Random House Publishing reached out to Belle to ask if she was interested in doing a book deal. And of course she was. The book, also titled The Whole Pantry, was released on January 1st, 2014, and it was doing crazy numbers right out the gate, selling out everywhere in Australia. Belle basically had the perfect life at this point. She had a successful book, a deal with one of the biggest tech companies in the world, and best of all, it seems like her cancer had pretty much been cured.
Yeah, I almost completely forgot about the fact that cancer was the reason that she got anywhere in the first place, because of the story of her diagnosis or whatever.
She thought. During her son's 4th birthday, Belle lost consciousness and had multiple seizures in the span of a few hours. On July 29th, 2014, she made this now infamous post on Instagram. With frustration and ache in my heart, my beautiful game-changing community, it hurts me to find space tonight to let you know, with love and strength, that I've been diagnosed with a 3rd and 4th cancer. One is secondary and the other is primary. I have cancer in my blood, spleen, brain, uterus, and liver.
No, obviously with the retrospective knowledge that she was faking it, why even talk about it anymore? You already have the deal in the bank, right, with Apple. You're gonna get your app on the Apple Watch or whatever. You already have the app that's succeeding. She's probably a millionaire by this point. Why would you even keep lying at this point? Why not just if I was in her position, I would just shut the fuck up about it. I would just stop talking about it forever, and I would never mention the cancer again. Because if no one noticed up until this point, then if she hadn't said this, then I imagine no one would have tried to investigate it or talked about it, because now she's famous. Now everything she does is gonna be scrutinized. But if you tell a lie when you're less famous and then you just shut up about it, you might be fine.
At this point, it was safe to say the coffee enemas were no longer working. But hey, at least she now had a massive support network, and thousands of messages of love and encouragement flooded this post. But it also raised a lot of questions. Belle's story just wasn't adding up to some people. First of all, it's extremely rare for brain cancer to spread to other parts of the body. Also, if she was riddled with cancer, her immune system would be dog shit. And she was flying all over the world to exotic locations like Ethiopia, Bali, and Ohio with no issues. And then there's the
I mean, once again, of anything you could fake, she must just have some kind of, she must be a diagnosed pathological liar, because there's no reason why you would continue faking this when you already have all this fame. Maybe it's the rush of getting away with it. I guess it's hard to speculate on her intentions, but maybe it's the rush of getting away with it. You just have no reason to lie at this point. She lied in the first place and it got her a decent sympathy story and she got kind of famous. Then just shut the f up, stop talking about it. You already won. You know what I mean? But apparently she just couldn't help herself.
Because of all these unanswered questions, a lot of rumors started swirling around that Belle was exaggerating her illness, but nobody wanted to be that schmuck that accused the single mother with brain cancer that she was faking it. So, for the most part, the rumors stayed underground.
Yeah, it's kind of a hard position to be in if you know someone's lying. There's been situations like that where I kind of know a public figure is lying, but it's just something you can't come out and say that, because on the small chance you are wrong, then you're gonna look so horrible. I mean, once again, imagine accusing a single mother of having cancer. How terrible that would look for you. You'd almost get more shit initially than she'll get when she gets caught lying, you know? Because it's just such a controversial opinion, something you're not supposed to say. By the way, Dontavius, someone I thought honestly was kind of a generic video essay channel when I first saw his channel, but this is a pretty good video, honestly. Doing a pretty good job. I gotta say, I'm enjoying it. W Dontavius, guys.
But then people started to look into Belle's so-called philanthropy, and things were not as they seemed. She also said in an interview that she donated at least $300,000 to cancer charities. So these two journalists did a huge investigation into Belle, and they contacted every charity that she claimed to have donated to. And every single one of them said the same thing. Belle Gibson? Never heard of her. This bitch was lying about donating money to cancer charities. And keep in mind, she was making hundreds of thousands of dollars at this point.
Just why? Why ever do that? That makes, I mean, once again, she already had a successful product that was huge. At that point, why lie about the cancer thing? People seem to like her stuff regardless, because whether it was an amazing product or not, people liked her app, people liked her Instagram. Why even lie about, the cancer, or lie about donating money to these cancer foundations? Why do that?
And this was just the tip of the iceberg, because if she was lying about donating money to charity, what else was she lying about? Well, it turns out everything. After the story broke about her false philanthropy, it was like a dam had just burst. Belle's friends started turning on her one by one. News outlets all over Australia were all of a sudden getting tips from people in Belle's inner circle who said they were skeptical about the severity of her cancer. According to the Sydney Daily Herald, a group of Belle's friends staged an intervention for her and questioned her about her illness. I asked her when she got her diagnosis. She said she didn't know. I asked her who gave her her diagnosis. She said Dr. Phil.
Doctor. That's the first thing that came to mind. You know she was thinking about this guy too, right? There's no way she was thinking of a different Dr. Phil when she was questioned. You know it was him, dude. This is Dr. Phil knocking on your door to give you your cancer diagnosis.
Open the door or I'm gonna throw rocks through your windows, you dumb whore. I want the money.
Dude, he's literally speaking to her exactly. He's speaking to Belle Gibson.
Go kill yourself. Nobody likes you.
Based.
I asked if Dr. Phil had a last name and she didn't know.
Dude, it's Dr. Phil. Just look it up. You can find out his last name easily. Why would she lie about something like that? It's the Dr. Phil, guys. Come on.
Appeared. I asked her where she saw Dr. Phil and she said he came and picked her up from her house. Bro, is this broad serious, doc?
She's losing it. She just had nothing to say. She didn't think that far. She was like, I'm just gonna lie about it and no one's ever gonna confront me. And when someone asked her, she was like, Dr. Phil, yeah, he like came to my house and stuff and we like hung out and we're just friends now and stuff, but he also told me I have cancer.
Around this same time, a video was leaked of her getting media coaching from her publisher. They told her in an interview that she needed to, quote, get her story straight.
I think that you really need to get your story straight about the charities.
Yeah.
I think they'd have to go there with that.
It's hard conversation.
Yeah.
Like there's so many different elements to it. You know, then I have to start being a scientist.
Do you think the media coaching people knew she was lying? I mean, they're telling her she needs to get her story straight. It's kind of I mean, maybe they knew a little bit, right? Just based on her really weird like reactions. Like this does not look like a sincere person. She looks like she's being accused of lying and is like being a little defensive about it, you know? I know this is a little armchair JCS psychology, but just look at her eyes. You can tell. You guys can tell. Okay, you know.
And start talking science about biology and electronics and
electronics. Why was that such a hard one for you, Belle, huh?
One of her closest friends told a newspaper, quote, Gibson would present an all-natural persona online and then do things like eat McDonald's, drink alcohol, and take diet pills.
Dude, this must be every OnlyFans girl. She's not even an OnlyFans girl, but this is just every OnlyFans girl, dude. Preaching about how to be healthy, preaching about like what's good for you, and then secretly doing the like worst things for your body possible. Getting McDonald's, drinking alcohol, taking diet pills. She's probably making herself throw up too. Oh my God, dude, that's worse than it could possibly be. How did it take this long for any of this to get out? Were they like trying to talk to the news before then and the news was just like ignoring them because of how bad it would look to accuse her on like live on the air of faking her cancer? How did no one from her past ever come out and be like, yeah, she's been lying like for her entire life? Damn, yeah, she has like some kind of mental problem then. It's not just a free will thing. I mean clearly if it's been this long in her past, right? Damn, the diet pills is crazy though. That's really bad.
Even her own mother exposed her. Remember at the beginning of this video how I said Belle cared for her disabled mother and autistic brother from a young age? Well, it turns out that was complete horseshit.
Dude, oh my God, that's so bad. That's worse than the cancer, honestly. Because at least the cancer is about herself. This one is like directly about her family. Once again, how did that never come out? Did her mom just like not speak about it beforehand? Does she even have a brother? Oh my God, dude.
This is what her mom told Australian Women's Weekly. What a load of rubbish. Her brother is not autistic and she's barely done a minute's housework in her life. I've practically worked myself into an early grave to give that girl everything she wanted in life. She also went on to say, I've never seen her cry in her life. I'm not even sure she's capable of empathy.
Damn, she's just a complete psycho then, right? Wow, there really is something mentally wrong with her, Jesus.
And the lies didn't even stop there. Belle lied about her birthday for some reason. She publicly claimed to be born in 1988, but her mom provided a birth certificate which clearly showed she was born in 1991.
Why even lie about something like that? I mean, once again, that's the pathological lying thing, right? Just lying to get away with it. There's no reason you should be lying pretending your birthday is 3 years before it actually is, especially for a woman, right? Women always want to be perceived younger than they actually are because they want to be seen as like youthful. So why would she? Yeah, that's so weird, man.
Then on May 18th, 2015, Belle sat down for an interview with Australian Women's Weekly, the same newspaper that interviewed her mom. In the interview, they were pressing her on a lot of claims that she's made over the years. And at one point, they straight up asked her, do you or have you ever had cancer? And she said, quote, no, none of it is true. But hold on, guys, it wasn't her fault, okay? You see, for years, Belle was being manipulated by a doctor who gaslit her into—
Dr. Phil! Dude, it was literally Dr. Phil. Dude. When will we see the Dr. Phil allegations, dude? You can imagine like a cold, dark room. And she's talking about it. She's like, he made me do it. Who made you do it? The interviewer asks. Dr. Phil. The Dr. Phil. He made me lie about having cancer. If you're in a position like this, why even do an interview? I mean, she thinks she can just keep getting away with it and keep adding lie on top of lie so that she can, you know, make it look decent now, recover her brand in some way. But if you're in this position, you got to just shut up. You got to just shut up and go away and like change your name and move to Iraq, move to Chirac or something. There's no benefit to doing an interview like this, especially like usually there's no benefit to doing an interview with journalists, even if you're in the right, because a lot of them are like kind of tricky and will try to trip you up because they have an agenda they want to fulfill, right? But with something like this, where they literally have you dead to rights and you're clearly the bad guy in the situation, like there's no benefit to doing an interview. Don't talk to the media. Don't talk to journalists. Just off, dude. Just go away. There's no good reason to be talking to 60 Minutes Australia.
Also in your book that you underwent chemotherapy and radiotherapy for 2 months. True or false?
At the time...
True or false?
True, because at the time I believed I was having radiotherapy.
So, false.
Yeah, this clip kind of sets the mood for the whole...
So the explanation now is that Dr. Phil himself, the Dr. Phil, he convinced her she had cancer and then gave her fake radiotherapy and chemotherapy. Yeah, this is just, dude, this is so... She sucks. And she knows she got caught too. One thing you'll notice is that usually when someone is in the right, I think, and I say this as if I'm an expert, but this is just from like watching other people's videos and I don't know, crime TV shows about it. But usually when someone is in the right, supposedly they're going to be angry and aggressive about it because they want to disprove the lie and they're angry about it. But she seems as if she's already accepted defeat and is just like apologetic at this point. But she doesn't want to be apologetic with her words because then she'd have to admit the truth, which is that she lied to millions of people to make millions of dollars and she's getting everything taken away from her now, right?
I'm really sorry.
At one point, the interviewer really pressed her on...
Like, she should be angry at the doctor. Why haven't we heard anything else about the doctor at this point, right? That's something that she should be thinking about, but clearly it doesn't even cross her mind.
And we gotta remember, not only did she scam people out of some money, I mean, plenty of other influencers do that too. But the difference between Belle Gibson and somebody like, let's say, Logan Paul, is that she has blood on her hands. She is directly and indirectly responsible for people's deaths.
Yeah, I guess the argument here would be that, like, she's encouraging alternative means of curing yourself from cancer, which would be the Gerson therapy or whatever, or the strange diet she's on. And by encouraging that, people may stop doing their actual, like, you know, chemotherapy or radiotherapy stuff. And that would potentially cause you to die if you stop doing the, you know, doctor recommended stuff and start doing this, like, alternative medicine, coffee enemas 10 times a day, drinking fruit juice in, like, 8-gallon quantities a day. So that's where the blood on her hands would be. I guess, you know what? At first, I was kind of gonna push back on that and be like, no, that's not true, but yeah, I see it a little bit. I do. Beast Ghost in chat says, at Tom Dark, pathological lying is not a diagnosis in and of itself, but a symptom of many personality disorders. Gotcha. Well, thank you for the info, Beast Ghost. In fairness, guys, when I talk about like mental illness, I'm not a doctor, obviously. Don't take anything I say as a serious diagnosis. I'm just kind of talking out of my ass from personal experience, and like, obviously I'm not a doctor, but good on you for noting that.
Now, you're probably wondering, what is Belle up to today? Is she still scamming people? Well, I'll give you guys a couple of guesses. Let me know in the comments which one you think it is. Did she A, marry a rich old dude and move to California? B, convert to Islam? C, change her name and go off grid completely? Or D, start an OnlyFans?
All right, guys, what's your guess in chat? I want to hear what you guys think. A, B, C, or D? I'm gonna say D. I'm gonna say she started OnlyFans. That's what I'm gonna go with.
If you answered B, you are correct.
Oh.
Belle apparently converted to Islam and became an honorary member of the Ethiopian Muslim community in Australia. But she's got a lot of work to do if she wants to bring that halal to haram ratio up.
Damn, what a fucking story. Rest in peace to Belle Gibson. Her career seems over. Obviously, she's a scumbag, but clearly there's something mentally wrong with her. Hopefully she stops doing that stuff. I guess she's converted to Islam now. But yeah, she definitely did some f***ed up stuff, lying about cancer, lying about charity. The Australian government ended up owning her in the end for $400,000. Quite a bit. Pretty good video from Dontavius, not gonna lie. Check out his channel if you guys enjoyed this. I'm not subscribed to this channel, but I'm going to now subscribe to Dontavius.